All right, this is Mike Brookreson. This is, look, there hadn't been any rain in Texas for 2 weeks here in the basin area in the Hillcountry. This creek bed we've been walking up and down all summer long, and I guess someone's tired of us walking down it because they went ahead and snapped it right there. Now that's all fresh, and it's been done since we came out here last, which was what was less than two weeks ago. You know, he's no dummy. He knows how to block a path. And yet, he's also doing some landscaping up in here. I think I showed you all this last time, although the light was poor. He's taken the tops out of 2 trees here and just like blocked all the trails off that my sister used to ride horses on both sides. It's like he doesn't want any company. It's not very sociable of him. My name is Mike Brookreson. I'll get back to you.
Again, we could be dealing with natural sources, you know, wind, lightning, things of that nature. But this is where it gets kind of strange. Something has drugged this limb here into some sort of a teepee position and put it right here, this huge tree. Something has drug a tree up and stuck it in the fork of another tree. I just don't understand what in the world is going to take a snapped off tree and put it in the fork of another tree. Whatever did it is the same thing that snapped it off originally, right there. So it snapped it off of one tree, it put it in the craw of another. Now, if you think this is a random occurrence here, you can see where it drug another tree up. Weirdness. And think again, here's a tree that's been snapped off and put in a teepee fashion in the craw of a monstrous oak. I don't know why, but it was alive when it was snapped, and it was green just last week when I came out here. I emailed Joe Fitzgerald. And then here we have what looks like a tree twist and a tree snap of 2 trees. And once again, another big limb drug up and placed in the craw of another tree. Just a big old limb, a nasty limb that nobody's going to want to mess with. Anyway, my name is Mike Brookreson, and I'm finding some interesting things at Los Regalos Ranch.
Filming, Dad.
My name is Mike Brookreson. The first thing I noticed today when I came up on the Polaris was that something had taken a gigantic log, drug it all the way up the hill, and shoved it in the craw of this tree. Now there's no freaking way, man. It is freaking it is completely jammed in there, tighter than a Georgia prom dress. I can't, come here, just shoot the other side of this. I can't for the life of me figure out what has jammed this gigantic, hell, let's just call it a half a tree, into the tiny craw of this big split oak. Again, all across these fence lines right here where I've been feeding, I've been finding what appear to be some sort of territorial markers. Giant logs and limbs jammed into big trees.
I saw something on all fours down there.
Down there?
Uh-huh.
Well, that's where we're headed next. And then we're going to track our way back to the creek. But boys, I want each of you to reach down and grab a hold of that log real quick and see if you think anybody, I know I couldn't budge it, could move it. Everybody take a turn. Just try to pull it out. All 3 of you together try to pull that giant log out right now. Everybody grab a section. Try to move it. That's enough. That's ridiculous. Good enough. It's something. All right, now we're not soccer hooligans just yet. We'll let Joe Fitzgerald do that. Mike, I'll be back. Mike Brookreson back with you again. I've got my boys back here. I'm taking the hobbits to Isengard. We've got Thomas, Grant, and John Edward. And what we just noticed is this little Sasquatch, if you want to call him that, human barrier, where he's like decided to declare his side, him, and our side, ours. He's pushed this tree over a fence. Now this is new from last time too. These are pretty serious displays of power, and they're all running along a riparian area there's just not a lot of water. We're going to show you a creek in a minute. That looks like a heel impression right there of something. And then it goes there. It's hard in this substrate to find any kind of legitimate footprints. You just get scant little traces. Anyway, to make a short story long, we're going to take you down and show you the water that they're so interested in fighting over. Boy, something's walked through here, fellas. Why don't y'all look around and see if you can find me a footprint. Be very careful. Yeah, it's all been dug up. There's armadillos here too, remember that. Just be careful where you walk, and if you see something that looks legitimate, let me know. My name is Mike Brookreson again. We're in the Texas Hillcountry. It's dry as a popcorn fart. Back here, I call this the oak that someone decided to take down completely. Somebody came in here with their bare strength and ripped down 1, 2, he just snapped that off not too long ago. 3, and then look at this right here. We've got some, I don't know if that's raccoon shit or fox shit, but look, whatever's coming here afterwards is once again putting limbs in the craws of these structures. Step back here and film this incredible 3-way tree snap, and then look at the limb piles over here as we're leaving the area. Keep your eye out for footprints. My name's Mike Brookreson, and I'm pretty much amazed. It doesn't take much to amaze me. Mike Brookreson is here with Grant. I'm here with John and Thomas. All day long we've been finding these huge piles of scat. Now there's no big ungulates back here. This is an unfenced pasture full of deep cedar and rocks. And there's a water source, the creek back here. But you can get a shot at this double pile of scat. I mean, you can say it's a horse.
Well, no.
We've been listening to some wood knocks. We've heard some aggressive wood knocking today. So, we're going to be back here for a while, taking a look at anything, as they say in the Sasquatch business, that's not supposed to be there. It's Mike Brookreson. All right, now this is Mike Brookreson. I want you to tell me that this is horse crap. There's no cattle back here. Ooh, there's some sort of a beetle growing in it. Man, that's just a humongous pile of crap. I've never seen anything like it. There is no horse that lets a turd out like that. If that's an ungulate here in central west Texas, it's going to have to be a cow. And then on the last pile I found that was this size, it had deer hair in it. So I guess it's a carnivorous cow. Hell, guys, I don't know. You tell me. That's a lot of shit. That's all I've got to say. Excuse my language. This is Mike Brookreson. Right here is a gigantic tree snap. All right. Save it. This has been snapped off, shoved into 2 more trees across the same fence line and barrier. There's a lot going on here today. We'll be back with you.